things that you guys need to set up when you are starting out on this business is your power hour. And this is one of the most important things you will do as a new coach, because these are going to be your hours that you're setting aside to work on this business, on building this business. So it's so important to do. I think if we don't set specific hours, we tend to get overwhelmed. We are kind of scatterbrained. We don't really have anything that's consistent. And it really makes building this business hard. So take the time now to set up your hours for the day or for the week or however much time you want to set aside to devote to building this business. Now for me, I am probably going to be putting in a little more hours than a new coach would, just because I have a little more on my plate. I'm handling trainings and stuff. But for me, I try to set business hours Monday through Friday. Weekends, I try really hard to keep to family time, and that's my break. Make sure you guys give yourself days off, because you will need that break. There's no reason you need to be working 100 hours a week on this business, because that's not what I want. You can absolutely build a successful business doing this part-time. I spend no more than 20 hours a week doing this, and if I go over that, then I know I need to adjust something. So set your hours. For me, my hours are from 5 in the morning to about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm not going to work again until that evening after my kids go to bed, so 7:38 to about 9 o'clock. Now, I will occasionally work longer hours, especially if my husband's gone, just because I really don't have a lot to do in the morning, in the evenings especially, so I'm going to set aside that time and focus on brainstorming and creating new training and things like that. So, but normally my hours, I spend about 3 to 4 hours a day, 5 days a week working on this business. Now, I will occasionally, answer a few emails throughout the day or something like that. But for the most part, those are my set hours that I set aside to focus on this business and do nothing else. So the first thing I do when I set my hour, or when I start my power hour, is work on personal development. I try to take up my first 10 to 15 minutes of my day. First thing I wake up in the morning, I'm going to devote to personal development. Now I'm going to start reading from a couple of books I have, and I also get a daily mentorship text from Darren Hardy. That's just a really quick, 1 to 3 minute personal development, has you focus on something for the day. So before I do anything, I'm going to be focusing on my personal development and my daily devotional. I try not to open my email, open Facebook, anything like that. I get my coffee ready and I read my personal development. That gets me in the right mindset for the day. I do that every single morning. It really has actually relieved a lot of stress, and when I'm ready to tackle my, answering those messages, I just have that confidence from that personal development. So if you're not reading personal development, get a book. Okay, the second thing is I make a plan and a schedule for the day. Now, usually I do this the night before so that I know what I need to focus on for the next day. Now, these are going to be a list of invites I'm going to send out. It's going to be a list of people I'm forming or building a relationship with. It's going to be if I need to set up challenge groups, if I need to follow up, who am I going to be following up with? Who are those potential coaches I'm going to be inviting with? It's going to be checking in with my challengers, checking in with my challenge groups. It's going to be what I need to post for that day, especially on my like page. I like to kind of plan that out, what I'm going to be posting each day. So that's going to go on there as well. I'm also going to be pre-planning for the week. So when am I going to post a challenge, an invite to a challenge group, or when am I going to run an ad for my like page, things like that. Those are things that I am going to write down on my list so that the next morning I can look at my list and see what I need to do for that day, whether that's checking in with a coach, having a coach call, having, checking in with challengers, whatever that is, I have it written down. This keeps me on task, and so that I can make sure I get the most done in the shortest amount of time, because that's exactly what this power hour is for, or power half hour, whatever it is. It's to make you focus so that you can get more done in a short amount of time, because there's no reason that you need to be spending hours upon hours building this business. That's what power hour is for, okay? So next thing I do is I set a timer. My son actually had me do this. I set it on my oven timer downstairs, and he holds me to it. So I set my timer, and I know I have exactly 60 minutes or 90 minutes to get done what I need to be done before I'm done. Once that timer goes off, I'm done, and I put my stuff aside, and I do not work on it until later that night. Okay? Stick to your hours. Sometimes you're going to have times where you have a lot of stuff going on, you're going to go over, and that's okay, but try not to make that something that's normal, okay? Really try to stick to your hours, because once again, you want to avoid that burnout, and this is the best way to do it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to start after I've done my personal development is to start my dynamic duo. Now that's going to be your 2 invites, your 2 follow-ups, your 2 your 2 relationship building messages. It's going to be your 2 coach invites. That's what you want to focus on first. You want to focus on you and building your business first. So for me, I have started doing a lot of my invites all at once. So I'm going to, at the first of the month, I'm going to send out about 30 to 50 invites. Okay? I'm just going to get it all done. Rip the Band-Aid off instead of doing a couple, a day. It makes a little bit more work in the beginning, but once I get all those out and have my challenge group filled up, then the rest of the month I can focus on my coaches and brainstorming and focus on personal development and trainings and stuff like that. So it makes my month go a lot easier. And plus, when you're sending all of those those invites out at once, you kind of get that fear out of your system, because it's just like, okay, I'm going to send this to this person, and then next person, next person, next person. I think it takes a lot of fear out of it. Okay. So you're also going to be working on, building those relationships with people. So liking on their comments, sending them personal messages just to kind of see how they're doing. If it's been a while, starting the relationship that way, liking their pictures or their posts, just showing up in their lives. You're going to be working on your follow-ups as well. Follow-ups are so important. That's what makes or break you. How many people have come to you to purchase something and they've never followed up, and you've probably forgotten about it. So follow-ups are so important. Also sending out those invites as well. So the next thing I'm going to work on is checking in with my challenge groups, or, the team page. Just kind of checking in on them, posting in the group, sending a personal message to kind of make sure they're on track, and helping them where you see fit, where they're having struggles. Now, after that, I'm going to start posting on my personal page, or posting on my like page, and kind of planning, especially on my like page. I like to kind of schedule a bunch of my posts for the day so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to think and brainstorm about what I'm going to post on my like page for that day, or to my personal page. And if I need to post a challenge invite or an invite to Coaching at a Glance as well, I'm going to strategize when I'm going to be posting that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check in with my training groups that either I'm a part of or that I'm running. Posting in there, catching up on training in there as well. I'm a part of a leadership group where we're working through a few things. So I'm going to check in on there, kind of read up if there's any videos to watch or any posts to read. That's where I'm going to take the time to do that, to build, focus on building my business. So do your daily homework. I know a lot of these groups have something daily you're supposed to be working on. So that's the time to do it. It's also a great time to reevaluate your goals and kind of see how your month is going. If you're struggling with something, this is the time to kind of look at it and say, hey, my invites aren't going that well. Let me ask my upline coach or post it in the group to kind of see how I can fix that. So if you're having struggles, this is the time to evaluate that and find a solution to it. Don't ever be afraid to come to me or your upline or to post it in our team page, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you. So take advantage of that, and don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. We've all been there, and you can get some amazing feedback from a bunch of coaches. To this day, I still, if I'm having problems with my invites, I'm going to talk to Kristen, or I'm going to talk to Summer, or, I'm even going to talk to some of you guys, because the way you word things are amazing. So I'm going to be like, I like how you word that. I'm going to try to fit that into my invites and see how it goes. So ask questions and seek help. That's what we're here for. We're a team. We're all a part of this. We're all in this together. We're all here to make each other successful. So take advantage of that. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do is plug in with my coaches. Now, I usually do this in the evening. Is the time I kind of focus more on my coaches and building them up. The morning, I focus more on sending out those invites. So that way in the evening, I have time to reply to those invites that I've sent out, or to those coaching invites, or whatever I've sent out. So if you are a new coach and you don't have any coaches, great, that's one less thing you have to do. But if as soon as you find that first, sign up that first coach, you are a leader, and you are there to help them be successful. Okay, so make sure you're checking in with them, helping them, see what they need, or where they're struggling. And if you can't help them, post on the team page, or come to me, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys. Okay, I want nothing but success for you guys. Okay, so please come to me. It's not a burden. Don't feel bad about it, because I love it. This is why I do it. Okay, so make sure they're plugged into, make sure those coaches are plugged into their training. Make sure you're helping them with inviting if they're having a struggle with that, or helping them set up their first challenge group, whatever it is. Be there for them, and let them know that you are there for them. All right, and the last thing I do, and I don't necessarily do this during my power hour, but this is something I just kind of work into my day where I have time. So that's going to be listening to webinars or listening to trainings. I always plug into the National Wake Up Call. These are some of the top coaches in the company, and they have so much information to share. It's invaluable. So I'm always going to try to plug in there, get in, some new ideas. I plug into the Team Courage webinars because I'm always picking up something useful there as well. And then plug into our team calls. I try to do them every other week, because I know we have a lot going on, and I don't want to overwhelm you. But, I'm trying to help you guys where I feel that there's a struggle. So tune into those calls, because you can always pick up something. And make sure you take notes. I am always taking notes, because you're going to listen to something, a sample invite, and be, I'm always writing that stuff down, or, some great takeaways that I can use later on, or something that I feel like will help a new coach. So take notes. I will also, any training I'm doing, I'm going to be doing 6 figures in 6 months. So that's going to be some additional webinars I have to listen to. So, I'm going to plug it in the car. It's a great way for me to listen to personal development while I'm doing dishes, while I'm getting ready in the morning. These are times that I'm doing that when I have really nothing else going on, and instead of, having the TV on, or whatever, I'm going to turn those on so that I'm listening to it while I'm doing something else. Multitasking. You'll become really good at it. So this is a great way. This is going to be the foundation for building your business, is this power hour. So today I want you guys to write down your business hours, and I want you to stick to them. It's so important, okay? Even if you can only devote a half an hour, once a day, twice a day, or if you can, set aside like 4 hours a day, or, if you want to put more hours into it, absolutely do it. But I want you to make sure that you stay balanced as well. I don't want you to put so much time into this business that, the whole reason why you're doing this is being left behind, okay? So don't sacrifice your why for your why, all right? Okay, hope this helps.